Elephants are the greatest giants of the land, whose size to this day captures the imagination. These giants can reach a weight of 7 tons, and their tusks, true masterpieces of nature, continue to grow throughout their lives. But behind their impressive appearance lies an equally astonishing intelligence and complex social organization. For a long time, the life of elephants in the wild was shrouded in mystery, making them the main characters of myths and legends around the world. Different cultures attributed to them a connection to the cosmos, the ability to summon rain, and even to remember their past incarnations. Modern science has proven that elephants do indeed possess phenomenal memory, recognize themselves in a mirror, and mourn their dead, qualities once considered exclusively human. Elephants possess a massive body covered in thick skin and several unique organs that make them one of a kind. The most remarkable is the trunk, a universal tool consisting of tens of thousands of muscles and reaching up to 2 meters in length. It serves for breathing, eating, communicating, and even as a powerful grip capable of lifting a heavy object. The elephant's large ears are no less impressive, serving a dual function. They pick up sound vibrations from up to 15 kilometers away, which is critical for survival in the savanna. Furthermore, a dense network of blood vessels in the ears allows them to effectively cool their bodies in hot weather, acting as a natural radiator. Their visual organs are also well developed. Large eyes provide excellent vision in the dark and over long distances. Powerful tusks, which are modified incisors, serve for protection from predators, digging up roots, and stripping bark from trees. Each of these features makes the elephant perfectly adapted to life in diverse environments, from African savannas to Asian forests. Elephants form complex family groups led by an experienced matriarch. After her death, the next eldest female becomes the leader, as all group members are related by kinship. Only females and their offspring remain in the herd. Adolescent males are expelled, although they continue to stay nearby. Males are allowed into the group exclusively during the mating season. Elephants have a strong sense of mutual aid and responsibility. They collectively raise their young using a system similar to nurseries and kindergartens. Their attitude towards death is especially touching. Upon discovering the remains of a fellow elephant, they stand still in silent sorrow, regardless of whether the deceased belonged to their herd. They have a unique burial ritual. They carry the body to a pit, cover it with branches and earth, and then emit farewell sounds, remaining at the grave for several days. There are documented cases of elephants burying humans in the same manner. The daily routine of elephants depends on the species. African elephants rest standing up, leaning on each other, while Indian elephants prefer to lie on the ground. Their total sleep time does not exceed 4 hours, broken into 40-minute intervals. The rest of the time, elephants are constantly on the move in search of food and caring for one another. Despite their weak eyesight, they possess excellent hearing and sense of smell, and they also communicate using infrasound, which can be heard from up to 10 kilometers away. Despite their seemingly clumsy appearance, elephants are surprisingly agile. They can reach speeds of up to 40 kilometers per hour, and in water, they can cover significant distances, using their trunk as a snorkel. This combination of strength, agility, and social intelligence makes elephants one of the most adaptive and highly organized inhabitants of savannas and forests. In the wild, elephants live for about 70 years, but in captivity, their lives can be extended by a full decade, provided a comfortable environment is created. This paradox is explained by the fact that in reserves and zoos, elephants are protected from the main threats: poachers, droughts, and diseases. They are provided with regular food, veterinary care, and security, which their wild counterparts lack. However, the key factor for longevity turns out to be social connection. There are known cases of elephants in captivity living up to 86 years. For example, the famous Asian elephant Lin Wang, who participated in wars and lived through an entire era. Scientists believe that lifespan is influenced not only by care but also by psychological state. Elephants deprived of interaction with their kin can fall into depression, which shortens their lifespan even under ideal living conditions. Interestingly, elephants are one of the few animals that experience menopause. Females continue to live for decades after the end of their reproductive age, passing on invaluable experience to younger generations, for instance, routes to waterholes during a drought. This grandmother role has become an evolutionary advantage, explaining why elephants can live so long. Their longevity is not just a biological phenomenon, but the result of a complex interplay of social bonds, memory, and wisdom accumulated over decades of life. Despite having a relatively small brain volume compared to their body size, elephants are rightfully considered one of the most intelligent animals on the planet. They possess self-awareness, as proven by their ability to recognize themselves in a mirror and skillfully use tools. For instance, elephants break branches to create fans for cooling or fly swatters to ward off pesky insects, demonstrating remarkable ingenuity. The memory of elephants has become the stuff of legend. Their visual, auditory, and olfactory memory allows them to remember vast territories, the location of water sources, and feeding grounds with incredible accuracy. They recognize fellow elephants even after years of separation and remember people for a long time, forming lasting bonds. This same trait makes them highly sensitive to treatment. In captivity, they are patient, but poor care can cause them deep resentment. The emotional world of elephants is as complex as that of humans. Scientists confirm that they experience the full spectrum of emotions, from sadness and joy to rage and compassion. There are known cases of elephants grieving for deceased kin and even shedding tears. Furthermore, researchers believe elephants are capable of laughter. They produce characteristic vibrating sounds during play. This emotional depth, combined with their outstanding intellect, makes elephants unique creatures whose psychology continues to astonish scientists. To sustain themselves, an elephant requires up to 500 kilograms of plant matter per day. Their diet is extremely diverse. They consume grass, wild plants, fruits, berries, and tree bark. Interestingly, different elephant species show distinct food preferences. African elephants use their tusks to strip bark from baobab trees, while Indian elephants prefer fig leaves and often raid plantations of sweet potatoes and corn. An important aspect of their nutrition is the consumption of minerals. Elephants specifically seek out natural salt licks, digging them up from underground if necessary. Bark and would also serve as sources of vitamins and microelements. Unfortunately, in captivity, the diet of elephants is often disrupted. They are overfed with carbohydrate-rich foods and sweets as rewards, which leads to metabolic disorders and serious digestive problems. The feeding habits of elephants have a significant impact on ecosystems. By uprooting trees and consuming vegetation, they shape the landscapes of savannas and forests, creating conditions for the existence of other species. This ecological function underscores the importance of preserving the elephant's natural habitat, where they can maintain a balanced diet that meets their biological needs. Elephant mating is not tied to a specific season and occurs when the animals reach physiological readiness. During this period, males enter a state called must, characterized by increased aggression and the secretion of a special fluid from their temporal glands. This scent travels for many kilometers, signaling their readiness. Females, in turn, attract mates with loud, far-carrying calls. For the right to mate, males engage in ritualized fights that rarely lead to serious injuries. The rivals demonstrate their power by spreading their ears to the maximum, emitting threatening sounds and uprooting small trees. Often, a larger and louder male can make competitors retreat just by his appearance. In the case of a persistent confrontation, a real physical struggle may occur, after which the winner chases the defeated for several kilometers. Elephant pregnancy is one of the longest in the animal kingdom, lasting about 22 months. The birth takes place surrounded by experienced females from the herd, who form a protective circle and are ready to provide assistance. Usually, a single calf is born, weighing about 100 to 120 kilograms, although twins occasionally occur. Within an hour or two of birth, the calf stands on its feet and begins to suckle, and the entire herd welcomes it with loud, joyful sounds. Calves feed on their mother's milk for up to 2 years, although they start sampling plant food as early as 6 months. Interestingly, any lactating female in the herd can feed the young. This system of collective care increases the offspring's survival rate. Young elephants remain under the herd's care until they are 5 to 8 years old, after which the males are driven out, while the females remain in their maternal group for life. Sexual maturity is reached around 10 to 12 years, but elephants only reach full physical development at 20 to 25 years. These complex social bonds and the prolonged period of learning are key elements of the unique culture of elephant communities. Adult elephants, thanks to their impressive size and power, have virtually no natural enemies in the wild. Only occasionally can young or newborn calves fall prey to large predators like lions or hyena packs, but such cases are relatively rare. The only truly significant adversary for elephants throughout the centuries has been humans. Despite international bans and conservation measures, the demand for ivory remains high, fueling the activities of poachers. Thousands of these majestic animals are killed for their tusks every year. A particular cause for concern is the fact that poachers often deliberately target the largest males with the biggest tusks, which negatively affects the genetic pool of the populations. In many Asian countries, including India, elephants have traditionally been used as working animals. Young animals are taken from the wild, dealing a double blow to populations. Not only are their numbers reduced, but the social structure of herds is disrupted. Although captive breeding of elephants has been developing recently, the problem of illegal capture remains relevant. These anthropogenic factors collectively pose a much greater threat to the species' survival than all natural dangers combined. Elephants appear to us not merely as giants of the savannas and forests, but as complex, highly organized beings with a rich inner world. Their matriarchal herds are not just groups of animals, but true communities with their own traditions, rituals, and strict social hierarchy. The ability of elephants to grieve for their dead, transmit knowledge across generations, use tools, and recognize themselves in the mirror places them among the most intelligent beings on our planet. Their physical perfection is no less astonishing. The trunk as a universal tool, tusks as tools, ears as radiators, and unique memory, allowing them to remember migration routes to water sources for decades. Every detail of their organism reflects millions of years of successful evolution. However, today the grandeur of these giants faces a harsh reality. Poaching for tusks, destruction of their natural habitat, and human-wildlife conflict threaten the very existence of their species. The paradox lies in the fact that the more we learn about elephants, the clearer it becomes. Their extinction would not merely be the loss of one species, but an irreplaceable loss of a part of Earth's culture and intelligence. The fate of elephants is a kind of mirror of our own humanity. How we treat these wise giants largely reflects our ability to be responsible guardians of this world. By preserving elephants, we preserve not just a species, but an entire universe, complex, emotional, and worthy of our respect and protection. If you liked the video, don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. This will greatly help the channel and help more people see this video.